Good evening, everyone. Today it's Wednesday, June 21st, 2023. I just learned a couple minutes ago that apparently today is the longest day of the year. It's still really warm right here in Berlin. And speaking about that, I just realized something cool that I discovered by mistake. So basically, I'm trying to print something today, and it always has this heavy stringing that never occurred before. I thought at the beginning that it was my retraction setting again because it has been problematic before, but turns out it's actually the room temperature. I discovered this by mistake because I tried different solution, but it still didn't work. And out of desperation, I just turned down the nozzle temperature. Normally, I printed everything with 215 degrees nozzle temp, and I dial it down to 200 and it works fine. And as you can see here, you, this is, I think, pretty cool because until up to this height, it still has stringing, and suddenly there is no more stringing. It was right at the time when I dialed down the nozzle temp to 200 degrees. So yeah, good to know. Discovered it by mistake, and I was quite mind blown. Maybe it's a common knowledge, but I just for some reason never learned that. So I was happy and jumping around a bit when I discovered this. It was pretty funny. Um, anyway, uh, I want to use this chance today to also address the question that I mentioned to you guys yesterday and the day before. Um, So it's basically an interesting question on my YouTube comment coming from um, username at mattnorth6843. Basically, he asked if I can make living from my own creations and whether I have a job next to this. He asked this because he is a designer and he's currently struggling to make a living from as a designer. Um, I found this question really interesting and kind of hits home for me because I'm myself also a designer. I started my career also as a designer before becoming an art director, where I took more conceptual work, more pitching and ideation stuff. But I myself also a designer, and that's basically my background. That's what I study in university. I love uh, drawing, still creating poster. Um, and to answer the question, basically, whether I can make a living from my own creation, unfortunately, not yet. That's the answer. Do I make sales from my own creation? Yes, and surprisingly, it's quite a plenty. But sadly, to pay my rent monthly, solely depending on this, unfortunately, the answer is still no. But that's also my goal that uh, one day I can live fully from my hobby, which is 3D printing. Do I have a job next to this? The answer is no. For one reason or another, I decided to quit my job last year, and starting from January this year, I decided that I want to give myself time to solely focus on my hobby, which is 3D printing and toy making, and I want to see if this can bring something. Um, and I think, why do I need to give myself time for this? Because I cannot run this for so long. Because yeah, um, I still need to pay the rent, and like my need to pay for my living. That's why I only give myself time 1 year to try this out, basically for my Saving is running out, and yeah, so that's a goal. And hopefully, by focusing myself on my hobby this year, um, I can reach a point where I will say that, yeah, I think the projection is good, and I think there is something there, and hopefully by January 2024, I'll be confident enough to continue my endeavor in this. Um, I don't have illusion that I'll suddenly become super rich and successful toy maker or 3D printers by January 24. All I wish is that somehow by that time, the calculation or the numbers making me confidence enough to say that yes, I can continue doing this for another year or 2 years, and I don't need to go back to work 9 to 5 and push this aside as my hobby, just like what I did before for the past 10 years. Um, so yeah, that's basically my story, and um, because of that, I also want to share some interesting experience that maybe could also be useful for uh, could be useful to also help answer the question. Um, if I can turn back time, um, I think I would. How should I say it? Uh, how should I say this? If I can turn back time, I'll be more wise with my time management, because if I can be more wise with my time management, maybe I can manage my time between 9 to 5 job and my hobby better. And maybe I don't need to quit my job entirely, so that I can focus only on my hobby and make money out of it, because I think that's the ideal option if I can choose, because if you can side hustle, if you can manage your time better, um, your you still have the financial security from your 9 to 5 job, while still having time to slowly work on your hobby. And you just need to quit your 9 to 5 job when your hobby is starting to overcome the your main income, right? That's the ideal option, but sadly it didn't work for me. Maybe I don't know. I just cannot multitask. I think I'm the type of person who either give 100% on one thing, but I cannot split it on two things. So either I give my 100% on my uh, for my day job, or I give my 100% on my hobby. Um, and if that's not an option, and or if you want to make a living from your hobby, or like what you're really passionate about, in this case design, maybe I can also share my experience that um, if I can turn back time, I would be more active on my social media, and just like posting my creation quite a lot way before this, because I just realized now how powerful social media is, especially to sell your stuff or to sell yourself as a designer. Um, and I think it has something to do also um, with my day job as an art director and designer, that I tend to overly um, I'm a bit too critical about my own work, because that's what I'm being paid for, right? I need to make sure that whatever comes out from my team is like the best design, or like the best creative that you can possibly done. And I think it's just not how social media is, because I think what's most important, yes, like a beautiful art piece or beautiful work is important. Great visual is also important for social media. But what I just learned now from doing this for the past 6 months. Actually, social media is a bit more a volume business rather than a. It's a bit more like quantity over quality. I think you just need to be present, you just need to be out there, keep posting your stuff, and you don't need to really care about whether it's polished stuff or whether it's good or not. Just like keep posting whatever you're doing, whether it's a process, failed design, an ugly design, uh, just anything. Just be present, and I think that's a better approach than like being really nitpicky about one post and like keep postponing it until you finally decided to like, nah, actually I'm not gonna post it because it's shitty. I know this is nothing new, but I just learned this the hard way, and I think um, if I can turn back time, I should be more active, and I should just like keep posting or on whatever I'm doing, because I've been playing a lot with 3D printing for the past 10 years. Started as my hobby, but I never really like posted or like show what I'm doing, and I never put it out there. It's just like to show to my girlfriend or like to my friends, and I'm doing it for myself. Um, yeah, so if I can turn back time, I should have just like posted whatever I'm doing from the beginning, and maybe by now I will have like a lot of followers, and you can monetize it somehow after that. Because yeah, turns out social media is really powerful tool, especially for people who work in our line of work, like in creative industries, whether be a designers, artists, painters, 3D printing enthusiasts, maker. I can say this because I get a lot of sales and a lot of positive reaction about from my creation. It's solely thanks to social media, right? Started posts. I made my TikTok I think last year, and I start actively posting videos on TikTok um, this year. And yeah, one or two of my videos went viral, and so many people are interested uh, in my creation, the Pocket Dungeon, Dice Pistol, Dice Blunderbuss, and because I keep posting them, when I finally put up the STL to for people to buy on Cult 3D and Etsy, I suddenly got a lot of sales from that. Like it's almost like instantaneously, and it's solely thanks to social media. So yeah, especially TikTok, because I think there it's really about like what I said before. It's about quantity, and funnily enough, actually, if you make something overly polished, people tend to skip it. Maybe it's because we think that it's like an ad or something, so you tend to skip it. And yeah, it doesn't need to be really polished. You just need to make sure that whatever you uh, record has some story or some focal point there, like something interesting that make people wants to know more. Um, um, and also another interesting story is basically 2 weeks ago when I just came back from holiday. Suddenly, I my Pocket Dungeon, the first creation effort that I put up on sale, suddenly got a lot of sales again. Like every day, I got 3, 4 sales on my Etsy and Cults, and turns out it's because my first YouTube video about Pocket Dungeon suddenly got a lot of views. I mean, not like million views, but it was 900 before, or 1000, and suddenly got 35K views. And only from that, because I put the link to um, my Etsy, I suddenly got sales again. So even sometimes like stuff that you put like way before can resurface, and therefore if you somehow connect it to your product, people can come back, people can go there organically and make sale, and purchase your stuff, and therefore it makes another sales for you. So I think, I don't know if this is advice or something, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling a bit, but I hope you can find something that it could be helpful for you. And yeah, from one designer to another, I really wish you the best. And I think um, I really hope that we all gonna make it, right. So I don't know. This is the first time I'm doing this, so I hope there is something useful there, and I hope it answered the question. And yeah, let me know also what do you think, um, and if you want to add something to my points, or if you have really interesting stuff, or if you actually don't agree about what I'm saying, please let me know. Please let me know. Also, this is another thing that's super cool. If you have enough viewers or eyes that is watching whatever you're saying or doing, um, troll comments aside, there is actually a lot of people that genuinely give feedback. I received so many long comments about how should I improve my pocket dungeon, what should I do with my catapult, and with my dice pistol, which is really amazing. I think all in all, that's the most valuable thing for me, because, like I said before, my ultimate goal is that um, that whatever I put out there get like a legit feedback that can really improve my product. So yeah, um, I think I'm gonna stop here before I start rambling pointlessly. I hope it has some use. I hope it uh, answered the question, and hope it's also helpful. Anyway, this is the longest time I talk by myself in front of camera. Uh, yeah, hopefully it has something. Anyway, that's the log entry for today. See you tomorrow.